Hello, guys. Welcome to She Sports, where we talk all things women's soccer, the numbers behind. Let's get into it. I am tired. I still got one more recording to do, and after this. So, anyway, today we're going to look at the growth of women's soccer and kind of talk about the growth. Since I kind of go over a lot in the Game Changers episode for this week. I'm going to kind of go briefly over, how we can continue to support women's soccer. There are a few things, though. The main, man, I cannot talk today. Oh my god. The most important thing is supporting is the most important because in anything, right? You want things to grow, support them, right? Even a person's support the person you want to grow, right? These are things that it's supporting is important, like merchandise, viewership, that way they can, people see that, okay, this person, or not even this person, but people are interested, and how can we capitalize and keep people interested? So yeah. But in terms of how can women's soccer continue to grow, I need to share screen. These buttons are different, and I'm like, okay, buttons are different over here. All right. So to further its growth, women's soccer needs increased investment, expanded media coverage, and focus on developing youth talent. Continued support from fans, sponsors, and media, along with efforts to promote equality and address issues like equal pay, will be crucial. So, sponsorship and media rights, securing more lucrative media deals, and attracting major sponsors are essential for league development, player salaries, and infrastructure improvements. Yeah, and I think, taking the time to invest, right, even in any sport, it helps kind of support the players, the league, so the league can support the players. All that stuff I think is really important, and especially when getting a team or anything or I guess any company to get sponsors, it's I think really, really important to kind of show them why this would be important to them, type of thing. So yeah. With the youth development, investing in youth academies and coaching programs can create a pipeline for talented players, ensuring a strong future for the sport. Emphasis on ensuring a strong future. I think this is important because I will always preach on youth development because it is super important that, you don't, if we're not investing in the youth talent, right, are we really investing it all? Because at some point you need that depth, right? You need the depth of, so when many years from now, youth players we're watching now, anyone's watching now, begin to retire, how do we continue to make sure that they continue with, growing the younger generations if we don't have the talent from the younger generations? Community engagement, supporting community programs and initiatives can help build a broader fan base and increase participation at all levels. And the one thing I will always love about soccer, especially, is the community it brings. It's even playing rec leagues, you find a lot of rec soccer leagues, right? It's I think it is super important to just even watch games. Even if you're just watching your friends play in a co-ed game, I think it's just important to watch any games, whether it's at the professional level, youth level, anything like that. Yes, I love that. All right, enhanced visibility and media coverage, strategic scheduling games at times they are convenient for fans, such as weekends, can boost attendance. So yeah, and especially what you see a lot of soccer games are usually, I like to say Friday, Saturday, Sunday, because those, when you can put games later, because especially the fan base want, my wrist over here is going like this, what you really want to see is the scheduling, right? Like you want, younger kids to be able to see these games. But if you put it in the middle of like a school week or something, in the middle of the day, you're not going to really have that because, for one, people will probably be working and they won't have their kids with them. Especially in U.S. soccer culture, a lot of the fan base is built on the family-friendly games, right? Where you take your kids to come, see any like sports game, right? You're gonna see a lot of kids there. And I think again that's important so that you create a time that everyone can come, right? Like that works for everyone. And in this instance, it's not working for everyone, but it's working for a lot of people. Expanded reach, utilizing various media platforms, including streaming services and social media, to reach a wider audience is crucial. All right. So, in terms of, I think, using different media platforms is crucial because, like you saw with the NWSL, they used Paramount Plus. I know that there are a bunch of other streaming platforms they use. I have literally lost track so much. My head is not in the right mindset to think there. But yeah, I think that again goes for especially any women's sports. Like, where are people watching, right? Like, where can we get the product out so people can see it? Promoting female athletes, highlight the stories and achievements of female athletes, can inspire and attract new fans. And this is where I think it is important because you have, I think you want like, especially like young girls to see, hey, that's someone who looks like me or who acts like me, has the same like maybe like personality or something, right? You want them to kind of be able to see that and aspire to, to be maybe just like them or their own version of, that person. So I think it's just important to have that role model to look up to, regardless if like a kid plans on playing professionally or not, all that. So, promoting equality and inclusion, addressing pay disparities. Oh my God. Advocating for equal pay and treatment for female athletes is vital for attracting and retaining top talent. I think this is pretty important because you do see. We actually recently saw this for Brazil. They called out, I think, they were playing in a tournament, and like their training facility was really small, and it's just like in not the best capacity that they could train in to play high level games. And they recently called out the tournament, people they were playing for. I'm really tired. I am not thinking of that, but they called that out and said, hey, you want us to, bring in the views. You want us to bring all this in, but we can't do that when we can't train properly. Diversity in leadership, increasing the representation of women in leadership positions within sports organizations can foster a more inclusive environment. I think just anyone who can get, make the best out of people, I think is going to be important. Challenging stereotypes. Promoting a positive and empowering image of female athletes can break down gender stereotypes and encourage participation. I think, again, that's super important. I think empowering is something that is super, super important in terms of, making sure people see that, hey, this is a positive environment. We want to continue to grow this and grow with it. Leveraging key events. Women's World Cup. Continuing to build on the success of major tournaments like the Women's World Cup can further elevate the sport's profile And I think especially we've seen quite a grow in the Women's World Cup, right? Where it's like, every World Cup, it's like people are tuning in, like, who is going to, who's going to win? And two, I was like, okay, how are teams playing against each other, and how are they, like, their game plans, formations, all of that, like, how are they doing that? Local leagues, strengthening local leagues, and creating pathways for players to progress from youth to professional levels is essential for sustainable growth. And I think, again, that's important too, because you want that progression. We want youth to see that there is a way for them to play professionally. If that's the path they so choose, and that way, again, you have the depth in the player pool, especially when it comes to national teams, because again, you don't want just to hit a brick in the road. I mean, that would never be good. Because at some point, if you just stop, you're just gonna be stuck there for a while. So yeah, I think in terms of getting how we can get women's soccer to keep growing, I think I need to finish here because I am starting to get tired, like ridiculously tired. But I do hope you guys enjoyed today's episode, and I will see you all next week with a brand new episode of She Scores. Peace.